I hate hunger in Minecraft. It sucks. It's not good. I just want to play the game without having to scarf down a loaf of bread every 5 seconds. Remember the good old days when hunger didn't even exist? I'm not going to interact with this. I'm not going to think about it. What even takes hunger? Because it really can't be that many things. So this is everything that takes hunger in Minecraft. Some of it isn't that bad, but at the top is what I lovingly call the big six. Swimming, breaking blocks, sprinting, jumping, attacking, and taking damage. Every single one of these actions are banned. There's a bunch of specifics with the way that hunger works in Minecraft. But in essence, I'm disallowing myself to do anything that takes hunger, which is everything on this list. So are you trying to get up a block? No. Are you trying to get wood? No. Now, this might seem obviously impossible, but I have a plan. Only these things take hunger. Things like walking and getting into boats are hunger-free. And so the first part of the plan is to just get a good spawn. After resetting like 20 times, I came across this seed in a taiga. Here, I saw a ruined portal which actually generated in a way that lets me access it. Ruined portal. And you might have already noticed something that generates with the ruined portal. Slabs! Slabs are the only way this run has a chance, like, at all. Since jumping is disallowed, these are one of the only ways to move up blocks. Slabs will be by far the most valuable resource in this run, so you better start stockpiling them. But how do you even get them? After all, breaking blocks to go and craft some is not allowed. Well, I know a way to get blocks without breaking them, and this flint and steel is gonna help a lot. But that does mean that I have to wait until nighttime, so I'm just gonna stand here for 10 minutes until the moon rises. And when it does, I make a backup and go hunting for a creeper. Yeah, I will be allowing as many backups as needed. This might seem like a cop-out, but think of it this way. Even just beating Minecraft without taking damage is hard enough, and then you add 5 more modifiers on. And so with that backup, I went ahead and found the creeper. There he is. There's also a skeleton. The real issue here is going to be getting the creeper to explode while not getting attacked by other mobs. So I think this might be my chance here. Oh my god. Let me get that. No. Oh my god, I need that wood. 1 log. No. Oh shit. No. Ah! Now, despite getting shot and failing, the proof of concept is there. It's definitely possible to get logs from creepers, and so all I needed was the execution. I have an incredible strategy. Oh my god. No, there's a baby zombie. No, there's a baby zombie. Oh my god, he's getting destroyed. Oh my god. Oh my god, 2 logs. No! Even with perfect execution, creeper explosions only drop about 30% of the blocks they destroy, so there's a chance of blowing them up near a tree just wouldn't do anything. No logs, really? It is our only option though, so let's do it. Bad. Okay, here's the tech. I gotta blow him up, then run behind the tree, and take damage. Fuck. No! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I'm making a backup right here. Make a crafting table, and then slabs. We are so back here. And after 2 long hours of blowing up creepers and getting blown up by creepers, I finally made it out with a total haul of 10 logs. And now is where the run really starts. With the 40 planks, I made nearly a stack of slabs and a boat. As mentioned before, using boats doesn't use hunger, except for one little caveat. Breaking the boat counts as hitting an entity, which means you can't attack boats to pick them up. You can try other methods like flint and steel or lava, but there's a decent chance that the boat will burn in the process. And even if this boat was a one-time use, it's still extremely useful on this flat, icy river. And so I boated around, until I found a pillager outpost. I decided that it would be worth the time to loot the outpost, but I didn't consider how annoying the pillagers are. Like, okay, these guys don't look happy. Shit. Where's the entrance? Ah! Once I finally managed to get up, the chest contained some wood and other junk, which was nice, but the real prize was the crossbow. Bows, or crossbows in this case, are unbelievably useful since 1, they're a weapon, and 2, they don't use any hunger at all. Instead of having to sit there defenseless hoping the mobs will just leave me alone, I can actually fight back. For the moment, I don't have many arrows, but once I manage to get some, I'll actually pose a threat to mobs. All I had to do was get down, which took a while again thanks to these guys. I don't have the ammo. Oh my god. No! But I made it out. Oh my god. No. No. Stop it. This guy. See you later, idiot. Then after looting a ruined portal, I continued my boating adventure. And during the boating adventure, I saw a spruce village out of the corner of my eye. Oh my god. I saw it. I saw you. Yes. But we're here at a village. And we got wood. We got wood. Free wood. I don't even have to fend off creepers. Right outside of the village was a ruined portal with a whole bunch of iron and gold nuggets. The gold is pretty useless, but with iron I can make a shield and more importantly, a bucket. A water bucket wouldn't be too useful as touching water is, again, illegal, but the other liquid is pretty enticing. And conveniently, that other liquid was right by the village. Lava. It's an infinite source of damage. It doesn't require hunger, and it's not like it's weak. It does a pretty good amount of damage. You're gonna see me use lava for the rest of this playthrough. It's just so incredibly useful. I love you. And as night fell on the village, I was gonna be able to get some experience with lava firsthand. It's not foolproof. It's still pretty easy to accidentally get hit. Yeah, I'm not okay. I'm a little scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. But it makes getting hit a lot harder than it was before. And when it turned day, I made a huge realization. This village really sucks. Like, it sucks a lot. My original plan was just to settle down here and slowly grind resources, but this village had very few houses and villagers. I decided it would be better to go on a little expedition. I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking for on this expedition. It was a spiritual journey. After a while, I came across a desert village. Oh my god. The village looked pretty big and I couldn't be bothered to keep exploring, so I decided that this would be the place to call home. I eliminated the iron golem and got to work building some slab infrastructure. Now, the desert has some pros and cons. Con number 1, it's a huge open space where so many mobs spawn. Pro number 1, it's a huge open space where so many mobs spawn. If you haven't figured it out yet, mob drops are the actual key to this run. The most important mob drop being gunpowder. Gunpowder makes TNT, and TNT is useful for so many things. For one, unlike creepers, it has a 100% drop rate on things that blows up. And luckily for me, there's a jungle right beside this desert that contains giant 2x2 trees. So if I blow up some creepers for sand, kill some creepers for 5 gunpowder, I can make a piece of TNT and head over to the jungle. I found a big tree, blew it up, and got 20 logs. 20 logs is a huge amount considering that each creeper would give 3 logs at most if I just blew them up. And now with the wood secured, I had some other plans. If you looked at my hotbar while I was getting the wood, you might have noticed that I had a lot of arrows. Arrows are one of the main reasons why I wanted to stay in a village. There are other ways of getting arrows, but the easiest by far is to trade with fletchers. So with some flint from the ruined portal, I crafted a fletching table and gave it to a villager hoping for an arrow trade. Yes, okay, give me arrows, thank you. If you're wondering how I got the emeralds, I just got some creepers to blow up some hay bales, which I then turned into wheat to trade in. With all of this housekeeping done, it's time to start getting some more resources. There's a blacksmith behind this cliffside, and it had 3 diamonds, which are extremely not useful. All tools and armor are really unnecessary. Like, imagine giving a diamond axe to some lumberjack who doesn't have arms, legs, or a torso. Like, what is he gonna do with it? The resource we'll need most are slabs, since we have to use one every time you want to move up a block. So I set up a mine of sorts with creepers. Sandstone is a fairly low blast resistance, which means that one creeper explosion can blow up a lot of it, and then it can be turned directly into slabs, making sandstone probably the best way to get slabs. And so, after just one night, I managed to get 3 stacks of slabs, which should be enough for a good while. And with these slabs, we could finally farm food. The 3 main steps of farming in Minecraft are tilling, planting, and harvesting. Tilling and planting require no hunger, but harvesting counts as breaking a block, which fails the challenge. But I know a more unorthodox way of destroying crops, something more sinister. It's trampling on them, of course. So if I were to build a 2-block high perimeter around my crop field, I could just fall into the farmland and get the crop. And so it begins, the vicious cycle of this run. At night, kill creepers for gunpowder and explode them in the sandstone mines. At daytime, farm beetroot to sell to this one guy who's buying it for really cheap. I locked the villagers in their houses with some fence gates and started to expand my capitalist empire. Now that everything has been settled, the main goal was to go and enter the nether. So I just collected ender pearls, more beetroot, more arrows, more gunpowder, more sandstone, basically anything somewhat useful that I could get my hands on. And after 3 more hours of grinding, I felt that it was finally time to go and enter the nether. Okay, after so much preparation, I think I'm ready to go to the nether. We got gold boots, so I don't get attacked by piglins, 4 stacks of slabs, good amount of arrows, some other junk. I think we're ready. So the lava pool is over there. Time to slowly make this portal. Fuck. Oh my god, I didn't make a... Now it is finally time to make this goddamn portal. Okay, nether time. So in here, really my ultimate goal is to just get enough blaze rods so I don't ever have to come back here. To actually find the fortress, I used the pie chart. How the pie chart works is a little bit complicated, but in essence, the pie chart just shows you if there are any block entities like chests or mob spawners loaded. So let's say we have Steve right here with a render distance of 3 chunks. If there were a fortress with a mob spawner right here, the pie chart would show that a mob spawner is loaded. So if Steve were to lower his render distance until the mob spawner is unloaded, he could then walk around until the mob spawner loads once again, which means that he knows exactly how far and in what direction the mob spawner is. The reason why we use mob spawners is because they only spawn in fortresses, which is what we're going for here. When I entered the nether, a mob spawner is already loaded, so I lowered my render distance and found out that, yeah, so there's definitely something 15 chunks away this direction. 15 times 16 is like 300. We'll be okay, I think. And so I just started heading towards the east and hoping for the best. And after climbing some cliffs, shockingly, the fortress was actually in reach. Yes! Oh my god, it's real. It's real, the fortress is real. I found a blaze spotter and then started the blaze rod grind with my crossbow. It was definitely not easy, but I eventually got my 10 blaze rods, which meant that I could finally get out of here. The slabs I had left were more than enough to come back from the way I came, and I was finally back in the overworld. How it feels good to be back. After killing some pillagers that randomly spawned here, I finally made it back to the village. Now, all that was standing in the way between me and the end was just resources. I needed more of everything, more slabs, more pearls, more arrows, more TNT, and all of this would just require grinding. And so began the final push towards the end. I decided to just go and find the stronghold now with my current Eyes of Ender, so I didn't have to gamble on how many I would need when it was time to go for real. And I did find it, but it was in the ocean. Oh, okay. Remember, touching water at all causes hunger, which, you know, is not allowed. Oh well. And yes, even just getting pushed by water takes away hunger. After getting back from the little expedition, I decided to make a chest that would serve as a checklist of items that I would need. And so what I want is 5 stacks of arrows. Next, I want a whole load of sand, 10 TNT. Next, I'm gonna need to get 12 Eyes of Ender. That's gonna be pretty easy. 4 stacks of slabs. Stack and a half of planks maybe. This is all that I want. I also wanted a piston for reasons I'll explain later, but a piston requires redstone, which requires me to go find some. Since there was a mesa nearby, I went to an open air mine shaft hoping to find a chest with some redstone, but there was literally nothing. That was what I call a disappointing ass mine shaft. So I ended up just killing a witch to get some. Yes, we got the redstone. And so I grinded for the next 5 hours. I mean, I did some other things. I went and tamed a horse, which saves so many slabs. Yay! And is something I probably should have done long ago, but the vast majority of my time was spent trying to fill out these 5 items on the checklist. I don't want to make another montage, so we'll just do a little time skip and bang. The time has come. Get out of my way. God damn it. In this chest is basically everything I'm gonna bring. It's time to go finish this. You know, I really thought that this would be a quick excursion, that this playthrough would take like 5 hours. It's been, I would say, more like 15 hours. And here's where the piston comes into play. You see, my thought process was that I would have absolutely no hope of making it into the stronghold if I just went in blind. So how do you see underground? With X-ray, of course. There's a pretty easy setup for X-ray that just needs a piston and some stairs. So I did it, and it worked. But honestly, it wasn't that useful. Most of the time the X-ray just didn't render caves below me, and even when it did, the stronghold was always blocked out by something else and I could never actually see it. Whatever. What I could figure out is that the way down was filled with water caves. Using doors and fence gates, I could block out the water and actually traverse through these water caves. It's tedious, but it has to work eventually. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Keep it a $1.50 if you will. This sucks. The way down is just filled with water caves, which are such a pain to navigate. So I just inputted the same seed into a different world and used spectator mode. Okay, listen, I just wanted to know how deep down the stronghold actually was, and it said fucking Y-40, okay? I tried to use the X-ray and all that, but the X-ray sucks. Of course I could just go and farm more TNT and brute force my way down, but I get like max 3 TNT a night, and I would need a stack. In summary, I'm just gonna go find another stronghold. This, of course, means I'll need to grind just a little bit more for some more pearls, and why not grab some more arrows and TNT along the way. I also saw this guy. What? I don't even know when this guy will die, but I don't want to burn his armor in case he drops it. Oh, didn't drop anything. And so 3 nights later, I got a few extra ender eyes along with some other miscellaneous items and started the journey to hopefully the final stronghold. Strongholds in Minecraft generate in rings around 0, 0. So to start venturing towards a new stronghold, I just need to get from positive X and Z to negative X and Z. This sounds like it would be a huge pain, and it would be if it wasn't for the horse. Riding or even jumping with the horse does not take any hunger, which basically makes it just a free ride. So I made it back to the original ruined portal that started it all. Well. It all comes full circle, I guess. Got to negative X and Z, through the pearl, and it went backwards. So then I went a few hundred blocks further and then through the pearl that would actually lead to the stronghold. Alright, let's see now. That way. I came across a village, this shipwreck. What is that up there? Which, come on, I had to loot it. I kept following the eyes of Ender until I made a stop on this island to wait out the night. When I threw the next Ender eye, it went backward, which was not a good sign since the stronghold could have been completely under the ocean again. But kinda thankfully, it was on the island, but it's still completely surrounded by the ocean. The most obvious way I saw was through this water cave again, which didn't lead anywhere even with my 10 TNT. Thankfully, this time X-ray was a lot more useful as I managed to actually see the stronghold. And so I kept trying some alternate entrances, and after just some brute force, I managed to find a route. So, it has been about an hour since I last was recording. And during that time, what I've been doing is I've just been testing out different routes to the stronghold. And I have found the one that will get me to the stronghold. So, let's go do that. How this is gonna work is we need to go down there in the water cave. To do that, we're gonna need doors, lots of doors, and we're also going to need fence gates. And so I slowly made my way through this water cave. I needed to get to this patch of dirt here, which blocks off an entrance to an actual cave. To use TNT underwater, all you need to do is put a falling block like sand on top of the TNT and then just light it. The TNT will actually break blocks despite being surrounded by water. Once in the cave, we just need to walk around a little bit until we reach this little hole in the ground. This is the perfect place to light some TNT, which then leads into another cave. Okay, I know this seems a little suspicious, but it really does generate like this. I used slabs to make my way down, and then I walked around the cave until I found the end of it right here. Directly on the other side of the cave is the stronghold, and since I didn't use that much TNT to get here, I could use the remaining pieces to carve out a tunnel all the way into the stronghold. Oh yes. After getting into the stronghold, the portal room is actually pretty easy to find. I used one last piece of TNT to get rid of the silverfish spawner, and finally activated the end portal and entered it. Then fight is really not easy, and I decided that out of honor, I would not make a backup during the fight, I would do it all in one go. In terms of the actual fight, destroying the crystals is not an issue, the issue is just escaping this guy. When the dragon is done perching, it charges straight at you, and without the ability to sprint, it's pretty hard to get out of its way. Dude. The obvious strategy is just to get farther away from the dragon, but even then you need to be pretty far to dodge it completely. So that's the whole strategy. Use a bow to shoot the crystals, then walk for your life while slowly trying to chip away at the dragon. And after a lot of failure, it was finally time to end this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My arrow reserves were slowly running out, but the dragon was close to dead, so as long as I could just hit my shots, I should be fine. Oh my god. Okay, I only have 30 arrows. I can't just be shooting willy-nilly. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on! No! Haha. Free the end! Oh my god. And I still have this piston for the dragon egg. The next generation. And that is Minecraft without swimming, breaking blocks, sprinting, jumping, attacking, or taking damage. Thank you for watching.